Kim Jong-il has promoted his youngest son, four-star general. There's been some sort of a promotion for his aunt. What does this all mean, and what do we know about it?
The truth is that we know remarkably little about Kim Jong-il's youngest son. We think he is around 27 or 28 years old. Pictures that we have of him are uncertain from an earlier period. We think we studied abroad for some period of his high school or education. We know almost nothing about him. I think our key here is to be careful, to make sure that we're in very deep consultations with our friends in the region. I'll be in Japan and South Korea next week. We obviously want to hear their views, our positions about what's necessary in terms of re-engagement in six-party talks and other kinds of engagement remain consistent, and frankly, we'll be waiting and watching carefully.
Let me ask Ernie, it's been reported that Chinese officials privately are referring to the South China Sea now as a core interest of China. Number one, is that true? And if so, what does that mean, and does that change things?
It's interesting because the Chinese are clearly sort of clawing back from that public position. They definitely saw a real reputational blow after the way they reacted to Secretary Clinton's remarks in Hanoi. A lot of the Southeast Asians felt like this was the unmasking of a China that had been on a two-decade charm offensive in Southeast Asia, and they'd done a great job with it, believe me, really good job. Well, the script for the Americans was more that we've been diverted and not as focused. So I think the Southeast Asians felt, well, wait a minute, we've got some atavistic sort of concerns about what this big neighbor to the north is thinking about, and if after sort of this economic diplomacy has got us feeling pretty good, if the punchline is that we need to heel to Chinese sovereignty, well then, wait a minute, we're not sure we want that deal.
When I think about what I've heard all three of our panelists say here, I think we've learned something about Chinese behavior in the past few weeks and how they are beginning to act more broadly on the world stage. So what have we seen? In the neighborhood, whether it's the South China Seas or the Senkaku Islands, we're seeing old claims that have been around for a long time that they are suddenly willing to go out and make an issue of. North Korea, as Curtis pointed out, as Ambassador Roy said, is a special case for the Chinese because they feel that this is their client state. They're going through a very difficult period of transition, and they don't want to see a collapse that results in having South Korea and American troops right up on their border.
Everybody in Asia has noticed that China has been more assertive in pushing forward its interests vis-a-vis countries around it over the last few years. And it's a matter of concern to them. But we need to remember that what they say to us and what they say to the Chinese are two different things. And so we need to be careful not interpreting how they're reacting strictly in terms of how we are seeing the situation, but recognize that we need some outside perspectives on it also. But I've talked to a whole range of Asians, and I've gotten a consistent view that they are noticing what we are noticing.
In addition to this video highlight, you can watch the entire discussion on csas.org or iTunes U.